and welcome to Cooking with Terry again. Today we're going to learn how to make gummies. Now you can do a lot of things with your gummies, but this is a basic recipe that you can make jello gummies, and you need a couple of ingredients. You need some type of jello. I used to use the 3 ounce, a friend of mine uses 6 ounce. I'm going with one in between because I want the various flavors. I also like the Welch's, makes good, and the taste is a little bit fruitier. So today I'm using Skittles jello. I'm also using the Knox gelatin. There we go. Using the Knox gelatin, I'll be using 2 packages of that. If you buy it in this family size version here, they come in 2-pack packages. I have cut them apart. Now the first thing that we do is we add a little over a half a cup of water into our pan. This is cold water. The next thing we do is we're going to add our jello. Now our jello, it's okay to move it around a little bit. I'm just kind of getting it even in the pan there. And the next thing I want to do is add the gelatin. When I add this, I'm not going to shake it anymore. I'm going to leave it to sit unmolested. Try to evenly put it in the pot as best you can. And it'll sit on the top for quite a while before it actually gets developed. Now, this process that we're doing right now is called flouring. By my friend Gummy Heisenberg taught me how to make these. And we let this sit for 5 minutes. It is now exactly 2 p.m. in the afternoon, according to the clock that you can't see on the wall. But we're gonna let this flour for 5 minutes, plus maybe. We want it to be pretty tacky. We don't want it to have really any loose juice. If you move it around with your spatula, we'll get back to that in a little while. Okay, we'll be right back Cooking with Terry. So we're about halfway through our flouring process right now, and you can see, I'll shine it on there a little bit closer, that it's starting to gel up. We're actually only about 2 minutes into the flouring. I'm gonna let that continue to flour there, and we'll be back in just one moment with Cooking with Terry. Hello, and welcome back to Cooking with Terry. Okay, now our flouring is completed, and we're gonna add our sugar. So I've got a little over a half a cup, just barely. I mean, about 125 milliliters if you're looking at. Oh, and also, if you're putting any special flavorings in, now would be the time to do that. And we're going to turn our heat on just a little because we have not had any heat on yet. We're turning it towards about medium low to begin with. And then once it starts to heat up, we'll turn up a little bit more and a little bit more. Now, because some of your special flavorings, you do not want this to be a rolling boil at any time. But you must get it to where it's just barely gonna boil, and then that's when this process stops. You don't want it to boil out. Okay. So, and what I'm using is just like a cake spatula type thing. I think that's what they're called. This one's just a small one that came, I don't even really, looks like some type of Christmas decoration. But so, we're just gonna start stirring now. And we don't stop stirring until we take it out of the pot. And that's what this is for. I've got a 2-cup mixing bowl that I'll pour this into once it gets all mixed up good and everything is dissolved, which is right about the time it starts to boil. Barely. Now you're gonna see bubbles because there's so much sugar in here. Now the trick is just to keep stirring until you're done. So I'm gonna pause for a minute while I'm stirring because this is very boring. When it starts making bubbles, I'll turn it back on again. While we're waiting on that to catch up, we're going to use some Pam, or this is the stuff you get cheaper. And And these are my molds. These are Lego molds. These are what I'm going to make today. Now I have quite a few other molds, but there's no, you can't get too much Pam on there. It's good to do them a couple of ways. You do not want them to stick. Now, today, like I said, we're using the Lego molds. We have other molds if we want to make them. I've got them stored behind a lot of my cookware. Big ones, small ones, round ones, bears, flowers, gumdrops. So, back to the stirring, because it is barely getting. Now, the thing to do is keep it off the sides, because if it goes up the side, that part that heats up, then it'll clot and stick there and just basically cook there. And you don't want that to happen either. So, here we go. We'll pause this while it's still warming. As we're stirring, you can see it bubbles up, but don't be fooled. It's not near warm enough yet. There's no heat in there or anything like that. None of the flavoring is starting to dissolve. Yet it takes a minute, these oil-based flavorings. We are in Alaska right now, by the way. We are in Anchorage, Alaska today, and it is September 1st, 2025. Anno Domino. Show up in Anchorage on a Monday night. My friend Mike Miller is having an open mic at the Blue Fox Lounge. Sunday nights, good open mic at the Time Out Lounge. Tuesday night, there is an open mic at the American Legion over on Brayton. Just tell them that Gary Stedman sent you. Gary Free the Music Stedman. He'll be there leading the open mic, open jam. The band is provided for those who need it. And there's a lot of people that just get up and play too. Wednesday nights, Little Babes over in Mountain View, and that's Buggy Tavia. He, great open mic over there. Thursday nights, kind of slim. We're talking about maybe having a song circle. Just getting together. Next in line chooses a song, leads it out, no war stories. We don't care how many times you played this in 1973 while people sat there drunk. Okay, still a lot of stirring left and we're not even warm, so I'm gonna pause for a minute. Okay, and we're still stirring here, but we are almost there. It just has not boiled yet, but where the liquid's around the edge and up the side of the bowl, that's where it, or the side of the pan, that's where it gets the hottest quickest. Now I'm seeing a couple little bubbles coming up. Heat bubbles, not sugar bubbles. So we are there. We'll go just a little bit more. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna pour this into our, I have a 2-cup pan. Get this thing planted here, that way I don't have to watch where it's at. Scrape it out. Now, if you got a friend handy and they like gummies, you can hand them the pot at that point, because there's a lot of stuff you can pull right off the edge there. Now, we're going to take this and we're going to, let's do it this way. Bring it over here like this, and you can see everything. And this is the tedious part. Because I hate to get it outside of it. And then you think you're doing good, and you get in a hurry, and then you end up, it's going across the face of it. But never fear, it'll all gel up into gummies and you can just break it off. And those are the little bonus pieces. A friend of mine does this and he usually ends up with around 36, but I think my mold is just a hair smaller on the Legos here, so I'm making quite a few more. We'll figure it up. There's 20 slots in each mold. There's 3 molds here. I have more on the wall. I had one more on the wall like this just in case I make a great big batch. Ooh, and it's still bubbling. That's kind of unique-y. As you get less in your cup, you're a little closer to it and you don't have the problem of missing the mold. It's just the problem of thinking, oh, now I can go faster, but when you can't. Trick is if you don't get it hot, then the gel won't actually set up. Now, the reason I put it on a pan like this is because you start moving these molds around, trying to get them from this cabinet to the refrigerator. And that's what you want to do as soon as you get done here. Put them in the refrigerator, don't even think about them for 30 minutes. Then you can pop them all out. And another thing you can do it on is this pan. So all of this will go straight into the washing as soon as I get finished. Because, well, the pot's going to go in there and the cup's going to go in there just as soon as I finish pouring it up into the molds. Into the final mold here. I have had to get new molds on the fly because I misjudged. That's the reason I have so many molds over there now. I don't like it when I misjudge. I'm putting them in cupcake holders and all kinds of crazy stuff. It's 48. It is not going to make one in this last one, but oh well. So, 51 is what that batch made. Now I'm going to put these into the refrigerator. I have a place already for them. And we'll be back in a moment to pull them out of the... Hello, and welcome back to Cooking with Terry. Now we're going to demold our gummies. Get them out of the refrigerator now and give us some places to work real fast. Get that one out of the way. And they should just pop right out like into that. You're basically going to have to turn all of them inside out and then pull them free sometimes. But because they've been in there for about an hour, they've really firmed up good and they're not going to tear and break, and they all look identical, where you've got little Legos now to play with. And then I take these straight into the hot water that I have there. And because we've sprayed all that Pam on these earlier, of course my hands are kind of oily right now. There's no sense in wiping them or cleaning them in between emptying the gummies till they're all out. However, it's kind of a good thing because it keeps them from sticking together also. Now, if they land top to top, where there wasn't any, where it wasn't next to the mold, then yes, they will stick together, and sometimes when you pull them apart, they tear. So, not often. Most of the time you can get them right apart, no problem. Then we have a partial one here. What did we say it made? 48, 49, 51. 51 gummies. My flavorings cost 26. So that actually works out to really close. I could have added a little more sugar. I could have added just 18 drops more water and come up with another gummy. But there you go. Just separate those and start putting them into baggies and put them in the refrigerator, and then they're done. So, cooking with Terry, and we have 51 gummies. Have a great day. Have a gummy day.